Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. 60 minutes of football fun and banter with Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV. Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow and join in now.
This is your host, Chris.
No! God, please, no! No!
I know, I'm sorry, but he's cheap and available.
How rude.
Right, Chris.
All right, guys, how the devil are we doing? Oh, ignore that. I don't know. I was practicing earlier and I left that up. How the devil are we all? Well, are we seeing some movement in the transfer market ahead of the weekend's games? There was one in and one out at the women. South African, I believe, is leaving, and we've got an Australian coming in. Yeah, I think we could see a double relegation. Would that be a first? Women's and the men's team both getting relegated in the same season? Oh, I don't know. Marcus is in. Good evening, Marcus. How the devil are you, sir? Welcome along. Thank you as always for being a member. But look, it's been a difficult return to Premier League football since the World Cup was over for Leicester City. It was always going to be a tough ask. In fairness, Newcastle and Liverpool were always going to be tough games. I think we were just hoping for more, having done so well pre-World Cup, but then we were playing bottom half teams pre-World Cup, in fairness. You can't, no disrespect to West Ham, but beating West Ham 2-0 before we went to the World Cup was not the same as playing Newcastle on return. Spencer said, please, 352, Mr. Rogers. Who knows what he'll go for? Who knows? It's harder to predict than Nigel Pearson after the Man United win, wasn't it? Yeah, Nate, I'm coming on to that in a second. But Nate is in. Good evening. How are you? Hope you are well. What I want to start with, though, is we obviously, but every Friday, we have a program at 9 o'clock. It's called Question Time. It's myself and the regulars, and both of them are back this week, Brad and Dave. And basically, that's your show. You can ask any questions about Leicester City that you want, and we will attempt to answer them in obviously in the show, providing, of course, that it's clean and legal. But we always ask the first question just to get things going. So the first question tomorrow, that if Brendan Rodgers loses this game against Nottingham Forest, should he be sacked? Now, you could say the Newcastle game was a free hit, both of them. You could say we were unlucky against Liverpool, but we should have beaten them, looking at what Brentford did to them a few days later. But Fulham, yeah, I know they're doing well, but they are still beatable. And everybody that was saying, well, we played better in the second half, and it's we started to get things right, and we've got all these injuries. Look, football is not about 45 minutes in the second half. We can't do a Tottenham and keep giving teams leads and then coming back and hoping that we can get something from the game. You know, we can't keep saying, well, we were unlucky. You know, we'll be saying that when we get into the third tier again. Well, we're unlucky to be here. And I think as well, look at all the injuries he's got. Who's causing the injuries? It's his training half the time that A is causing them, because they're not all injuries that have happened on the pitch, and B, they are injuries that, you know, because of causing all these injuries, he's not letting players get fully fit before they come back. So, look, for me, I'm sorry. I can say I have switched sides of the fence so many times when it comes to guarding Brendan Rodgers that I've actually built a gate into it so I can get around both sides quicker. But I'm sorry, for me, if we lose to Forest, if we don't beat Forest, he's got to go. It's as simple as that. Brendan Rodgers has got to go. Look, welcome along. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. This is the stat show ahead of today, the weekend's East Midlands Derby. But as Nate alluded to there's some news on the transfer front. Oh, yes. There we go. That gentleman just there. Finally, a left-footed, right-sided player that Brendan fancied. It's only taken him, 4 years, 4 seasons? I don't know. I mean, Nico Gonzalez, and there's two. There's two Nico Gonzalez. One is Spanish, but the one we're interested in is Argentinian. He's on the bench today for Fiorentina. And Fabrizio Romano understands he has agreed personal terms with Leicester. Talks are ongoing. Understand Leicester will push in the next days to get the deal done. £30 million bid submitted. Wow. I mean, that is up there. I mean, Tielemans was 40. Slimani was 30. But, you know, it's been that long since we made a signing, maybe, that the prices have gone up. It's a lot, but, you know, we've got to do something. We can't just sit here and go, well, let's get this other guy in on loan and see what he's like. And then, you know, 12 months down the road, we haven't got the money, we can't buy him, and we lose him. You know, looking back, would it have been better to have risked £15 million? And I know we had FFP and all that shit, but, you know, come on. Is it going to cost us double now than what Lookman would have cost us? But let's have a look at him, shall we? So, this gentleman here, let me tell you about him. He's 24 years of age. He's born in Belén de Escobar in Argentina. He's got dual citizenship, Argentina and Italian. He's a left winger. And it says left winger here, but he's obviously been playing on the right wing a lot. But he's left-footed, and that is what Brendan Rodgers wants. He wants that left-footed, right-sided midfielder. Andrews, we need proven Premier League players to get us out of this pickle. Well, he's not a proven Premier League player, but he's a proven first-team player, you know. Stuttgart sold him to Atlanta. He sold it for 11.26 million euros. They then signed him from Stuttgart to Fiorentina for 24.5 million euros. Like I say, he does play. Well, he can play up front. He can play on the right. He can play on the left. And let's face it, we do know that Brendan Rodgers likes his players that can play in multi-positions. And I get that. Makes total sense if you can. So he fits everything. He's ticking all the boxes. He played one game and scored one goal for the Argentinian national under-23s. He then has progressed to the main Argentinian side, and he's played 21 games for them and has scored 3 goals. Not sure if he was featured in the World Cup at all. He made his debut in 2019 for the Argentinian national team. But he's made 7 appearances so far this season for Fiorentina, who are currently beating Sampdoria 1-0, by the way. And he's got 2 goals for them. He's also got 1 yellow card. He sounds almost perfect, doesn't he? He's got everything we need. He participates, he has participated in 10% of Fiorentina's goals this season. You know, you can't, that's not bad for one player. And the only rumours of him being linked with are apparently Leicester City. But he hasn't been picked today. Well, he's in the squad. He's on the bench. Spencer says here, never heard of him, but can't be too shabby if he's made 21 appearances for Argentina. Indeed, Spencer. Indeed, my friend. Nate says, we missed the World Cup but played in the Copa America. Right. Andrew says here, but is he any good on FIFA? That is the question. That's how players should be picked. You should only buy players that are any good on FIFA. I remember when I was younger, and believe it or not, I was actually younger at some point in my life, and I played FIFA. I had an old version of FIFA because I could then look at the players that were currently good, look back and go, yeah, he's not bad. He's even on FIFA 2 years ago. He was good. Get him in at a cheaper price. Is that called cheating? Look, if Sepp Blatter can do it, allegedly. So, yeah, this is looking good. What do we think? 30 million. It's a lot of money. About 85 potential on FIFA. Well, there we go then. Is that good? I haven't played FIFA, like I say, for many, many years. Before I had kids, when I had time to. Surprising though, if you got FIFA, that you actually end up with kids. Anyway, there we go. So yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Not sure about 30 million. I mean, if we're getting him for 30 million pounds, I'm pretty much guessing that the Iwani deal for the Moroccan player is out the window. We did, Andrew. We paid 30 million for Perez. You are quite right. Don't compare the two, please. Don't say it's anything like Perez. But when you come to think, we paid, what was it, 18 or something for Faze? We don't usually go for these high price signings. But look, we need it. We've needed it. We've needed that type of player for too many years. So let's just get him in. Let's not mess about. Let's not be arsing about with loan moves here, and will we have him at the end? Like I say, look what happened with Lookman, and I still think we are going to rue the day, and that will be the one that got away. But anyway, look, fingers crossed that it's going to happen. Maybe in the next few days. Is it a good sign that he's on the bench? Sorry. I'm not sure. He's only started. Well, he's made 7 appearances. It doesn't say how many starting. Oh, he's made 12. 1 second. My eyes aren't what they used to be. 12% of the games he's made the starting 11. Read into that what you will. It just worries me that other clubs are not interested. You know what though? Do you remember when we signed Daka? Suddenly, we were after him. And our team were after him, and Liverpool were interested, and Forest, and it all came out. And you're thinking, I never actually saw that, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, do we? Madders can play centrally now. I think this will open up more space for Barnes as well. Hoping this is the perfect signing. Yes, indeed, Nate. Unfortunately, I don't think Maddison's going to be with us post-summer, so we may have to work around that one. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he signs an extension. I wouldn't like to lose him and Tielemans. I mean, I know we're not going to get any money for Tielemans probably, but losing the two of them together in the same window can't be. He's not going to be absolutely brilliant. But look, you know, I just hope we can get this to bed quickly. You know, we've not exactly got a good record for getting things done on time, have we, when it comes to transfers? Anyway, this weekend, let's have a look. Look, it hurts me to say this, it really does, but congratulations, Nottingham Forest. You did it the hard way. You know, getting to a semi-final, first season back in the Premier League. Reminds me of somebody else. That I'm not sure who it is. Yeah, but the thing is, sorry, just to say, Andrew, the thing is, maybe he can swap from time to time with Barnes now. I don't know. We'll see. You never know what Brendan's got planned. But look, like I say, congratulations, Nottingham Forest. I would have loved them to have had to go to extra time and knacker them out a little bit longer, but unfortunately they didn't. But, you know, they went through, was it the fifth penalty or something it went to? Yeah. The last penalty was missed by Wolves. They both missed the first one. They are in the semi-final. Will that G them up for when they play us? I don't think they should. I don't think they would need any G'ing up. I think our players need some G'ing up. I think, you know, if you look at Newcastle, you know, I said, well, the worst thing that could happen there is that Sheffield Wednesday beat Newcastle, like poking the bear. So they came to us having been defeated with a point to prove, but Nottingham Forest are through. So they haven't got that point to prove, but it's Leicester. It's a local derby. Will we manage to be... Look, let's have a look at the games that are coming up. Because I tell you something, I'm not confident. They are, Andrew. They're going to want revenge, sure. I mean, if you think this is the third time we've played them, last year and this year, they beat us 4-1 in the FA Cup. We beat them 4-1 at the KP. Is it the decider? But look, that's how we've got Forest away this weekend. The weekend after that, we are hosting Brighton and Hove Albion, and that is not going to be easy. You know, if anything, they have got better since Potter left and their new managers come in. Then we've got Walsall in the FA Cup. But let's be honest with you, Walsall must be going. Yes, please, bring on Leicester City. We only just sneaked past Gillingham, let's be fair, although obviously it was a potential banana skin that we avoided. Unlike, I think Forest lost in the FA Cup. I think they did. And of course, Newcastle went out as well. Then after that, we're away to Villa. Again, not easy. Hosting Tottenham, away to Manchester United, home to Arsenal, and it's not until March when we have potentially, and I say the word, potentially easier games, because we're away to Southampton, but they beat Man City yesterday. Then we're home to Chelsea, away to Brentford. Yeah, I mean, I'm dreading it. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I am dreading it. Andrew says there, no game's going to be easy for us nowadays. They're not. They are so not. I wouldn't like to think how many points we're going to get from those games. I really wouldn't. But hey, this is the stats show. So should we get some stats up? If you like your stats, you're going to love this show. If you don't like your stats, you ain't. As simple as that. And to be honest with you, I've done this a few times, so let me know what you guys think at the end, whether you like it. And if you're watching it on catch up, please let me know in the stats in the comments below if you do like this sort of show or not. I think it's about the third one I've done, so let me know how we get on. But before we go any further, let me ask you a big favour, guys. If you are new to this channel, Leicester Till I Die, please do subscribe. If you are already new, please smash that likes button. Both of them help the station out so well, and I would be really, really grateful. So I just, you know, if you're not subscribed, please do. But like I say, if you are subscribed, then please smash that likes button. It gets us helps us with the algorithms and gets us seen in more places. I think it's the same squad, Nate. I don't know whether possibly Daka back, but I think that might be it. So look, who have we got in the middle? When you think it can't get any worse, yes, it can, guys. Paul Tierney is in the middle for us against Forest. Peter Banks is on VAR. I don't know the others. I really don't. But Paul Tierney and Peter Banks, yeah. But again, you know, we could be saying that about any of the officials, couldn't we? It's not going to be. No, they're all rubbish, aren't they? They're all rubbish. But those are the guys that will be looking after the game for us. So let's have a look at the most appearances. Danny Ward, Yuri Tillemans, Jamie Vardy have all made 18 appearances for us this season. Dewsbury Hall 17. I don't know if he's going to be back or not. Castagna 17, Barnes 16, and then it goes on. The most cards, Madison is on 5. And isn't that reset now after Christmas? I'm not sure. But he does, Andrew. Paul Tierney, you're quite right. He does like a red card. But Bakary Samare has got 4 cards, and indeed he has got 3. Who is out? This is as it stands at the moment, but of course we do know there are days to go and things can happen. But Daka might be back, apparently. Bertrand, who cares? Pratt, I wish he was. I really do, because I think he absolutely does bring something to the game and he likes to go forward. Madison, no, we know it's not. Evans, I don't think we'll see him again, to be totally honest with you. I mean, if he is on the cusp of coming back, at what point do you go, we'll risk him? I mean, we've got 5 subs, so if he does go off after 10 minutes, which he probably will do. Justin, still not back yet. And, of course, Pierre, I'm afraid, as much as I love him and he's a great player, he is turning into a bit of a sick note. For Forest, we've got Coyote, Bianconi, and Nicarte out. But that said, they probably, that reduces the squad to about 200, doesn't it? Let's be honest with you. So, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. So we are in 13th place in the table. We've not won in 3. We've not won since the World Cup. Nottingham Forest are in 15th. They're out the relegation zone. I didn't think, and I still don't think they'll get relegated anyway. But they are, they've lost, drawn, and won. They've got the full house, the royal flush, since they came back from the World Cup. Interestingly, though, on the form table, Nottingham Forest are above us. They're in 13th in the form table. We are in 14th. They've got 8 points from the last 6, and we've got 6. So that it's going to be, this could end up as the most boring 0-0 we've ever seen because the stats are so similar. The worrying thing for me is there, right? You can see, Everton have not got an easy game this weekend. A lot of teams below us are playing each other, or a couple of them are, which is good. I think Southampton, Everton, West Ham are all playing teams down the bottom there. But we're on 17. The worrying thing is if you look above that, Crystal Palace in 12th have got 22, and they played a game less. Villa have got 22, but I think they're slowly turning things around. But we are currently 5 points behind Villa. So even if we beat Forest, we're still going to be 13th. And, there's the joke about mind the gap and all that, isn't there? But I honestly think that we've got to watch that gap. We don't want to be thinking, well, look, we're stuck in 13th. Is that the best we can achieve this season? And if we're not careful, the gap's going to get wider. So we need to start winning games. David, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? Welcome along. He said it's frustrating and annoying. We still have so many out injured. Unless he plays a different formation, we don't have anyone special on the bench to make anything happen. I'd love to see him go to up front. You're speaking to the converted. You're 3 at the back. Would you bring Vestergaard in? Soyuncu? I still love to see Soyuncu paired with with Faze, I'll tell you, I think it would be the dream back two for me. Andrew says there, at the moment, I'd be happy finishing 15th. Fair point, mate. Absolutely fair point. Right, so how many times have we played Forest in the Premier League? Recent times, once. But in total, 7 times we've played them. They have won 3. We have won 2. They have won 2 away. We have never won in the Premier League at the City Ground. I don't know. Well, that's not a good sign, is it? I mean, it wasn't. These games as it is going back, but yeah, we've never beaten them at their place in the Premier League. And because it's been a while, I have put 3, not just last season. Well, we didn't play them last season, so we beat them 4-0. Back in October, when we were managing to actually beat teams in the bottom half. Before that, going back to 1999 was the last season, the last decade. They beat us at their place 1-0, and we beat them at our place 3-1. God, last decade. God, can you believe you're saying that? Nate says, seems like a good time to change it. Yes, it does. It would be a good time, if only. So let's have a comparison of some stats then. Nottingham Forest, the main stat of it I think to look at is the home and away for Forest and Leicester. So home, they've played 9. They've won 3, drawn 3, lost 3, scored 11 but conceded 12 with an average points per game of 1.33. Leicester away form, again played 9. We've won 3 but we've lost 6. Scored 17, conceded 21, and we're obviously therefore on a -4 with a points per game average of 1. And that is just an average, obviously. But as you can see, Forest away at home form is drawn 1, drawn 1, drawn. Oops. Away form is lost 1, 1, 1, lost. Oh, if only football was played on paper. And our run-in up until this game, as you can see there, Forest beat Southampton 1-0. Got a great draw with Chelsea, let's not lie. Beat Man United, lost to Man United 3-0. Beat Palace 1-0 and drew with Brentford 2-2. So they are definitely going in with a bit of form. As I say, since the World Cup, though, we just haven't turned up. We haven't turned up. Our players, even get injured on holiday. James Maddison. So those are the match statistics and the goal statistics there for Forest and Leicester City for you to have a look at. I shouldn't, but I am doing. I'm actually keep checking Sky Sports transfer page. I know. Oh look, Messi's at the top of it. I know. It's too early, but I keep clicking it. I'll be waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking, "Oh, I wonder." Knowing, of course, that it won't make any difference. Here we go. These are the season stats. Ball possession, they've only kept it 39%. Forest, we've kept it 51%. And I know there's arguments that, well, look, when we won the Premier League, we had the lowest possession stats. Yes, we did. But if you don't have the ball, you ain't going to score. I think, it's as simple as that. We don't need possession and we can hit them on the break and all this. If you say, the possession means you've got the ball. And if the opposition's got possession, you can't score. Attacks, we've had more attacks. Shots on target, 54 for Forest, 75 for us. Off target's pretty much the same. Cards, they're a bit panicky, aren't they? 41 cards to our 22 yellow cards. Of course, Jesse Lingard is due to come back, possibly. I don't know. He's probably going to turn up, don't you? Anyway, here's the goal distribution. Pretty much equal. We tend to sort of concede more after 60 minutes, and I still I still refer you, ladies and gentlefolk, back to the fact that Brendan Rodgers likes to make his substitutions around 60 minutes, and yet that is when, after that point, we concede more goals than at any other point in the game. Coincidence? I think not. Don't call me conspiracy theories, but I'll leave that one with you. Our top scorers, well, we're buggered. Our top scorers and most assists. Maddison, 7 goals. Barnes, 6. Tielemans, 3. Daka, 3. Assists, Maddison, 4. Vardy, 4. Daka, 3. We are so definitely missing James Maddison, aren't we? And Jamie Vardy, I mean, what has happened to Jamie Vardy? Did he watch the Rooney versus Vardy docu-soap thing? Which was rubbish, totally rubbish. I said the other day, and I still say it, we got Daka a season too late. Not necessarily Daka, but we got that new striker in a season too late. We really did. And had he been coming a season before, a bit like Soyuncu with Maguire, would have had a season to bed in, which he named, which he needed, and made him the better player. Daka had to come in and go straight into the game, which he struggled with. I mean, Parker Sumari struggled with it. Fofana's the only one I can think of sort of that's come straight in from being bought and taken to it like a duck to water. I mean, yeah, Vardy turned 36 yesterday, and he's missing some sitters. Everybody said, don't pick on Jamie. He's this god. We can't pick on him. Yes, we can. He's an employee of Leicester City. He's a player. We can have our say on Jamie Vardy. But yeah, Nate said turned 36. And people have said, he's not been getting the service. Bugger the service. Because when he's got the ball, he's rubbish with it. How the hell did he miss that one the other day? Vardy of a few seasons ago would have put that in against Fulham, through on the goalkeeper. Normally he'd have chipped him over and gone, and it would have been a goal. He's making bad decisions. He was trying to go through the Fulham Leno's keeper, his legs. We just can't rely on him anymore, and I don't think we should. I don't think he should be a starter. Is Daka the answer? Well, it's all we've got if we're going to play a lone striker. Preferably, I'd like to see 2 up front, and then you could have Daka in Inacho. We know that's worked. Vardy in Inacho. So we know that's worked before. There's no reason why it can't work again. Anyway, and this is how many shots. We are having 12.22 shots per match. That's on average. Is that good enough for a Premier League team? 5.17 shots on target a match. 7.06 off target. I would tend to say that isn't good enough. That is not good enough for where we want to be as a Premier League team. I'm sorry, it simply is not. And that again shows the argument that people were putting forward for Vardy. Maybe the strikers aren't getting the right balls through. That, to me, sums up why we are where we are in the league, but it simply just is not good enough. Right, here we go. Team characteristics, strengths and weaknesses. Let us have a look at Nottingham Forest first, shall we? Let me just enlarge it on here so I can get it up. So, as the actress said to the Archbishop, Nottingham Forest's strengths. Aerial duels, they're very strong at. Stealing the ball from the opposition, they are strong at. Let's be honest with you. Not hard to take the ball off us these days, is it? What are Leicester City's strengths? Apparently we have got a couple. Shooting from direct free kicks, we are very strong at. Well, we were. I think that's a Maddison thing. Creating long shot opportunities, we're strong. You see, I say that's a double-edged sword. Does it mean that you're creating long shot opportunities because you're not good enough to get the ball in the box? That's what I love about stats. You can look at it either way. But for me, that is a possibility. Ant's in, Big Ant. Thanks for doing last night, Anthony. Arsenal fan, big up, Chris. I know your stats were tape on the day. You did, and you predicted Leicester to win last night. The only one of the three of us that actually predicted Leicester win, which was interesting. So I appreciate that. And I will see you on Monday because Anthony is going to be the joint host every Monday night at 9 o'clock on the Premier League review show when we're looking back at the weekend's games. So that will be interesting from 9. David says, for a change, let's be having you. Let's be having you. Of course, where Delia Smith lives. Let's be having Barnes at the impact sub instead of Kelechi. So for your point 2 up front, yes. Oh, why not play? And the problem is, I suppose again, who would fill the gap? But why not play Barnes as the second up front? Then again, like I say, who would you put in his place? Now, where are Forest weak? They're bad at finishing scoring chances. They're weak at protecting the lead. Fingers crossed if they do go in front. Defending against attacks down the wings, they're weak. Defending against long shots, they're weak. Defending against through balls, they're weak. And defending set pieces, they are weak. What about... Oh, and there's 2 more. Very weak. Keeping possession of the ball. And we saw that with the possession stats. And they cannot avoid fouling in dangerous areas. That's good. Leicester's weaknesses. We haven't got so many. Protecting the lead. We know we're weak at that. We do know. As soon as we go 1-0 up, Brendan goes defensive and says, let's hold on to it. Mind you, he said that when we're 2-0 down, he puts on a defensive midfielder and says, let's hold on to it. We're weak at aerial duels. We're weak at avoiding individual errors. We're weak at defending counter-attacks. We're weak at defending set pieces. Has that defensive set piece coach not come back from Qatar? Did he decide to stay out there? And we're very weak at defending against long shots. Nothing about own goals up there, thankfully. Nottingham Forest style, the way they like to play is with long balls, like to attempt crosses, taking long shots, and a lot of them, they like playing in their own half. They rotate their first 11. They are aggressive, and opponents play aggressively against them. And again, we saw that with the cards, didn't we? Leicester style, we like to take long shots, but again, is that because we're not good enough to get into the final third? Short passes, God, we know that, don't we? God, passage. Problem is, we take a lot of short passes, but at the moment, we can't find our own players. Can somebody please, if we're going to be playing in blue, because obviously Forest are in red, so there's no need for us to change our kit. Can somebody just nip into the Leicester dressing room before kickoff and go, guys, we're playing in blue. Just so when you pass your balls, look for a blue player. We attempt through balls often. We don't often get it right, do we? We're non-aggressive. How true is that? We like playing on our own half, basically because we break out from the back and we never get it that far forward before we lose it. And we like to play the offside trap. Here we go. So, will Nottingham Forest score? A medium chance, apparently. They scored in 89% of home matches. And we have kept clean sheets in 33%. That seems a long time ago when we were on that run of not conceding a goal. But again, it was against lower half of the league teams. Will Leicester City score? Apparently, there's a high chance. Forest have kept a clean sheet. And again, same as us, 33% of their home matches. Leicester City have scored in 100% away matches. So we've always managed to score. So there is a high chance that we will score in this game. So if anybody's gone for 0-0, but who will score first, I hear you ask? Who will score first, Chris? Well, let me tell you, seeing as you've asked. Apparently, it's going to be us. But they did say that against Fulham. 50% chance. Forest have scored first in 9 out of 18 of their matches. Leicester City have scored first in 11 of 9 out of 19 of ours, 61%. Extremely likely that Leicester will score from a direct free kick. It's likely that we'll take a long shot, and it's likely that Nottingham Forest will dominate in the air. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Sorry, just burst into a bit of Phil Collins there. That's going to be losing me with a few viewers. So let's have a look then. Some more stats. Attacking sides. As it seems with most teams this season, we like to go down the sides, down the wings. Very rarely through the middle. Only a quarter of our attacks are through the middle. Pretty much the same there, as you can see with Forest. We pretty much cancel each other out. I thought it would be more down the left. I've got to be honest with you. It's 39% down the left and 36% down the right. I thought when Barnes is playing, it always seems to go through him. So I did think it was going to go down that way. But there we go. Pretty much even on that one. Could end up certainly on the, when we're attacking, they're attacking, that is pretty much equal down the side. So will we cancel each other out? There's a good possibility. Shot directions. So we like to shoot from the left-hand side, 20%. And 15% of our shots come in from the right, with 64% down the middle. Again, not a huge difference to how Forest play. They like to take a lot of their shots down the middle as well. Shot zones, where do we take our shots from? We like to take long shots, apparently. 40% of our shots are from outside the box. 54% are from inside the 18-yard box. And 6% are inside the 6-yard box. Again, hardly any difference between us and Nottingham Forest on that one. This is going to be 0-0 and last on match of the day, isn't it? Action zones. Yeah, mainly middle third. I think it's always going to be mainly middle third, to be honest with you. As you can see, we do have more in our own third than we do in the opposition third, but then so do Nottingham Forest. But again, I think that goes with the fact that where the teams are in the league. Score predictions now. What are your score predictions, guys? Well, I haven't got them all in, or I haven't got Ian Wilson's in, but everybody else. Brad, I don't know what Brad is smoking or drinking, but I'd really, really love some of it. Brad has gone for Nottingham Forest 2, Leicester City 4. My God, that will be a goal fest. Craig will be joining me at 9 o'clock for the review show, the pre-match show. Has gone 2-1 to Leicester. Myself, Steve Lynix, Steve Walsh, Ian Marshall, and Jerry Taggart have all gone 1-1. Wow. And of course, none of us knew what the other ones were predicted. I went 1-1 on last night's prediction show. So if you're a betting man, maybe 1-1's the score to go for. I don't know. I don't have the odds up because, of course, we don't recommend betting. Or if you do, remember, if you do bet, gentlefolk and ladies, when the fun stops, stop. So it's going to be a draw tomorrow. Would you take a draw at this point? You know what? If you offer me 1-1 now, I think I actually would take it. That's how bad we've got. And I'm hoping that the players remember the FA Cup match. That remember how pissed off we were as fans with them all after that match. If they put in another performance like that, then... And Brendan, I've just got to help them at the next home game. That was all I will say. I'm a fan. I love them to bits, but I want to see you go down fighting. At Newcastle, it was like, let's just stick the white flag up. It could have been 5, 6, 7. So I want to see a performance, but we need to get a result. David has gone 1-0 to Leicester. Not expecting much with so many good players out, but hoping that since Forest are not the best of teams, we can hold them off and nick it. Yeah, I hope so. Luckily, Forest are nowhere near as good as the last three teams who have played. Wouldn't mind a draw, but would be a little disappointed. Yeah, but he's gone 3-1 to Leicester. He's gone. Oh, I presume Leicester. Nottingham Forest are the home team. I presume you mean Leicester. It's the weekend of the derbies. You've got the Manchester Derby, you've got the London Derby. Funnily enough, both of which are on TV. And you've got the East Midlands Derby, which, funnily enough, isn't. It's always different, isn't it? Its form goes out the window for derbies. It really does. But hey, we will find out tomorrow. If we do lose, you will not see me for a week because I will be hiding on social media and refusing to come out. I will be doing a watch along tomorrow. It will be from behind my settee, so you can actually be able to tell that it is me. But before that, coming up next.
Coming up next on Leicester Till I Die TV.
It's the preview show. It'll be at 9 o'clock on this very channel. Myself and Craig for Leicester, and we've got two Forest fans coming in. I know what you're thinking. How did you find two Forest fans? Dave, who are joining us, who you know him from when we do the banter show, great guy. And Luke, who is always in the chat, again, a lovely guy. The fact that they're both Forest fans obviously doesn't help, but they're both really nice guys. All of us at 9 o'clock. Be there, be square, as they say. Thank you. Let me know in the comments below if you like this show. If you do, I will still carry on doing it. If you don't, we'll move on and try something else. But thank you very much for those that watched. Thank you very much for those that joined in. And thank you very much as well for those that listened on the podcast version. I will see you at 9 with the aforementioned guests. Be there or be non-spherical. That's what they say, isn't it? See you later.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV. They think